What's the one thing that can reshape relationships, challenge alliances, and spark rivalries without firing a single bullet? Trade. Now imagine two nations with decades of bad blood suddenly deciding to cut out the middleman and trade directly. It happened last week. A ship from Pakistan docked in Bangladesh for the first time since 1971, sending shockwaves through the region. Could this simple shipment set off a chain reaction, leading to something bigger, maybe even a trade war? Let's unpack this gripping story. To understand why this direct trade route is such a big deal, we need to rewind to 1971, a year etched in the memories of people across South Asia. That was the year East Pakistan broke away from West Pakistan, with India playing a crucial role in supporting the liberation movement. The result? The birth of Bangladesh, a nation born out of a bloody war that left millions dead and created a chasm of mistrust between Pakistan and Bangladesh. The wounds of that war didn't heal overnight. For decades, relations between Pakistan and Bangladesh remained icy. While there was some trade, it always went through neutral third-party countries. Ports in Sri Lanka, Singapore, and Malaysia acted as middlemen, handling goods that these two nations couldn't exchange directly. Why? Because the bitterness of the past still loomed large. Pakistan never issued a full apology for the atrocities committed during the war, and Bangladesh wasn't willing to forget. After its independence, Bangladesh found a reliable ally in India. The two nations shared cultural ties, economic partnerships, and a mutual distrust of Pakistan. Over the years, India became Bangladesh's primary trading partner, providing goods and support for its growing economy. Pakistan, on the other hand, became a distant memory in Bangladesh's trade network, a country that was once part of its past, but had little relevance in its future. But here's the thing about history. It never stays buried. Decades later, the dynamics are shifting. The region is evolving, and old relationships are being redefined. The question is, can the ghosts of 1971 truly be laid to rest, or will they come back to haunt the present? Now, let's talk about what happened last week, the event that has everyone talking. On November 13, 2024, a cargo ship named MV Yuan Xian Zhong arrived at Chittagong port in southeastern Bangladesh. The ship carried raw materials, including textiles and ceramics, essential for Bangladesh's thriving industries. This was the first direct shipment from Pakistan since 1971. Yes, you heard that right, 53 years without a single ship connecting these two countries directly. But the journey wasn't exactly straightforward. The ship didn't start in Karachi. It began in the UAE, stopped in Karachi to pick up Pakistani goods, and then sailed on to Bangladesh. Some of the containers even carried goods from Dubai. On paper, it looks like a routine logistics move, but in reality, it's anything but. For Bangladesh, this was more than just a shipment. It was a message. By accepting a direct trade route from Pakistan, Bangladesh signaled that it's ready to explore new avenues, even if they come with risks. The interim government, led by Muhammad Yunus, is looking for ways to make trade more efficient, and direct shipping cuts costs and speeds up delivery times. A Commerce Ministry official put it plainly, this move reduces the price of commodities and benefits local industries. For a country like Bangladesh, where every penny matters, that's a big win. Pakistan, too, sees this as a triumph. After years of economic struggles and diplomatic isolation, this direct shipment is a chance to rebuild its influence in South Asia. Pakistan's High Commissioner to Bangladesh described the voyage as a step toward creating a more integrated trade network in the region. But is it really about integration, or is it about Pakistan trying to reassert itself in a region that has largely moved on without it? There's another layer to this story. The timing. This shipment didn't happen by accident. It came under the watch of Muhammad Yunus's interim government, which took power after the ousting of Sheikh Hasina. Yunus is known for his bold ideas, and this move fits his vision of reshaping Bangladesh's foreign policy. But could this boldness backfire? And then there's India. For decades, it enjoyed a close partnership with Bangladesh, one that strengthened its position in the region. This shipment challenges that. By allowing a Pakistani ship to dock directly, Bangladesh has sent a signal not just to Pakistan, but to India as well. The question is, how will India respond? Will it see this as a minor inconvenience or a serious threat to its influence? This isn't just a story about a ship. It's a story about ambition, alliances, and the fragile balance of power in South Asia. What started as a simple shipment of goods has now become a geopolitical flashpoint. And as we peel back the layers, the stakes only get higher. When a single shipment can change the dynamics of an entire region, it's worth asking, who stands to gain the most? For Bangladesh, the benefits are clear. Cutting out third-party countries like Sri Lanka or Singapore isn't just about convenience, it's about saving money. Every dollar saved on logistics means more competitive pricing for goods like textiles and ceramics industries that form the backbone of Bangladesh's economy. Imagine a textile factory in Dhaka. Before, the raw materials from Pakistan would travel through several ports, racking up fees and wasting precious time. Now, with a direct shipment, those materials arrive faster and cheaper. This isn't just a boost for factory owners, it trickles down to workers and consumers. More affordable production costs mean more jobs, better wages, and competitive prices for Bangladeshi goods in global markets. For Pakistan, this direct route is equally significant. Its economy has been struggling with low exports and rising debts. This shipment marks a rare opportunity for Pakistan to reclaim some influence in South Asia's trade network. By supplying essential goods directly to Bangladesh, Pakistan not only earns revenue but also reestablishes a trade relationship that had been frozen for over 50 years. Pakistani officials see this as a stepping stone. The High Commissioner to Bangladesh described the shipment as the first of many, envisioning a future where regional trade flourishes. But is this optimism grounded in reality? Or is it wishful thinking? After all, trade isn't just about economics, it's deeply tied to politics and trust. One question looms large. Will Bangladesh's industries now rely more on Pakistan? And if so, what does that mean for its existing trade partnerships, especially with India? It's a delicate balance. While this direct route brings undeniable economic benefits, it also comes with risks, particularly in a region where alliances can shift overnight. The arrival of this ship didn't happen in a vacuum. It's part of a broader shift in how Bangladesh approaches its place in the world. Under the leadership of Muhammad Yunus, the interim government is charting a new course, one that's markedly different from the policies of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. For over a decade, Hasina maintained close ties with India. The two countries cooperated on trade, security, and infrastructure, forming a partnership that many saw as unshakable. But Yunus has taken a different path. Since assuming office in August, he's been signaling a willingness to engage with countries that Bangladesh previously kept at arm's length, including Pakistan. Yunus's vision extends beyond trade. He's openly expressed a desire to revive the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, SAARC, an organization that's been largely inactive for years. The idea is bold: bring together South Asian countries to foster economic growth and regional stability. But there's a catch. SAARC's revival hinges on India's participation, and so far India hasn't shown much interest. Without India, SAARC is just an empty shell. Yunus's actions reflect this balancing act. At the recent UN General Assembly, he met with Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, signaling a thaw in Pakistan-Bangladesh relations. But his failure to meet with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi didn't go unnoticed. Was this a deliberate snub, or just a matter of timing? Either way, it sent a message. And then there's the issue of Sheikh Hasina. Yunus has publicly stated that his government plans to seek her repatriation from India to stand trial in Bangladesh. This move is as controversial as it is symbolic. By targeting Hasina, Yunus risks further straining relations with India, a country that has been Bangladesh's ally through thick and thin. Is this a calculated gamble, or is Yunus underestimating the fallout? The interim government's actions suggest a desire to redefine Bangladesh's foreign policy, but the stakes are high. Can Bangladesh afford to pivot away from India, its largest neighbor and key trading partner? Or is this shift part of a larger strategy to position Bangladesh as a more independent player on the global stage? Now let's shift gears to India. For decades, India has enjoyed a special relationship with Bangladesh. The two nations share cultural ties, economic agreements, and a mutual distrust of Pakistan. So, when news broke about this direct cargo link, it set off alarm bells in New Delhi. India's concerns aren't just economic, they're deeply strategic. A direct trade route between Pakistan and Bangladesh could potentially weaken India's influence in the region. And let's not forget security. India has long been wary of Pakistan's intentions, especially in areas near its northeastern borders. Could this trade route open the door to something more than just goods? Indian officials haven't minced words, hinting that this new development could disrupt the delicate balance of regional geopolitics. Is India preparing to counteract this move? And if so, how? This isn't just about three countries. The ripples of this trade route extend far beyond South Asia. Take China, for example. It has significant stakes in both Pakistan and Bangladesh. Could Beijing leverage this new connection to strengthen its Belt and Road Initiative? And what about the US? With its growing focus on the Indo-Pacific, Washington might see this development as a threat to its strategic goals. Then there's SAARC. Yunus's dream of reviving this regional bloc sounds noble, but let's face it, India's approval is crucial. Without it, SAARC is just a collection of countries with good intentions but no real power. Can Bangladesh convince India to play along? Or is this the beginning of a new era without the region's largest democracy at the center? How are people reacting? In Bangladesh, opinions are divided. Some see this as a bold move that could transform the country's economy. Others worry it might strain ties with India, a neighbor that has stood by Bangladesh through thick and thin. In India, the mood is a mix of suspicion and disappointment. Many feel that Bangladesh is turning its back on a friendship that has been carefully nurtured for decades. Meanwhile, in Pakistan, this development is being celebrated as a diplomatic victory. But is it really? Let's not ignore the elephant in the room: security. India's concerns aren't baseless. A direct trade route could, in theory, be exploited for purposes other than commerce. This is especially sensitive for India's northeastern states, which have long been vulnerable to external influences. Bangladesh, too, must tread carefully. Strengthening ties with Pakistan could come at the cost of alienating India. Is this a risk worth taking, or is the interim government playing with fire? India has been a major trade partner for Bangladesh, supplying everything from food grains to industrial goods. If Pakistan steps in with cheaper alternatives, Indian businesses could face significant losses. Could this mark the beginning of a larger economic realignment in South Asia? And if so, how will India respond to protect its interests? What happens next? Several scenarios could play out. India might ramp up its trade and diplomatic efforts to counter Pakistan's influence. Or the region could see a gradual shift toward a more inclusive trade environment, where all players benefit. But there's also the risk of escalation. If India views this move as a direct threat, it could retaliate with measures that disrupt regional trade. Could this be the spark that ignites a full-blown trade war? This story is far from over. The first shipment from Pakistan to Bangladesh was more than just a delivery. It was a statement, a bold move that could reshape South Asia's future. But will it lead to cooperation or conflict? Only time will tell. What do you think? Is this the start of a new trade war or a stepping stone to something better? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Hit that bell icon so you never miss a story that matters. Thanks for watching.